Hey, hey, Unstoppable You crew. Quick vibe check on a scale from 1 to 5, no judgment here, with 1 being I need a coffee and a miracle, or I'm vibing high like Beyonce level, unstoppable. How are you today? Remember, no judgment, no matter where you're at on the scale. My goal is to bring you up 1 notch, just one, okay? I want to get into it because today I want to talk about moving from one location to another and how we as individuals think that running away from our problems by choosing a new zip code or a new place to be or a new relationship or a new job without addressing the things that we needed to work on before we moved on to those next things, and how it makes it impossible at times to be able to grow and progress in the direction that you want to go, right? So picture this, right? You have been exclaiming very dramatically to the world that you're fed up, you've had enough, you're moving to another town, another city, because you're tired of where your life is at. But a quick spoiler alert, if you don't address your issues before you move on to the next thing, then guess what happens? You book your flight, you get on a plane, and you arrive at your new location. And 4 months later, you're wondering how in the world did the ex's energy and the old habits and the old patterns and the old way of thinking, how in the world did they pass TSA? Oh, well, I'll tell you why. When you were planning on leaving and you were visualizing being in a better mood or a better place, if you went to Tahiti and you get there and you still feel like crap, it's because you didn't address your issues. So today, 3 things that I would like for you to consider as you, think about navigating going somewhere and haven't addressed your issues that are making your life impossible. Because I promise it's not what's going on out there, it's what's going on out in here. The stories we're telling ourselves, the things that we refuse to change, like patterns and habits and old way of thinking and beliefs, the list goes on. So, 3 things. I did say 3 things, right? But first, wait a minute, hold up, back up. Before that, I want to point out that your external world is truly a reflection of your inner world. Stepped on some toes, right? I used to step on my toes quite frequently, and I'm not sure why. But here's the deal. I just saw that my thumb went up. Funny. When you're on these Zoom recordings and you have a really sensitive camera or computer, it catches everything. So back to our show. That was a quick break. But listen, if you've got limiting beliefs, patterns of self-sabotage, unhealed wounds, um, I hate to break it to you, but they're not just going to disappear simply because you change your zip code. It's not going to happen. It really isn't. And I'll tell you why. It's not going to happen because I myself did that exact thing. I thought that by moving to and I've done this at different times in my life. Okay. I did it when I was much younger. I thought that if I ran away from my problems and what was going on at home now, granted, there were some extenuating circumstances for me leaving. And what choices I made as a young teenager were different than the choices I made as a young adult and then as an older adult, right? But I've been doing this running away thing and thinking that if I left one situation, things would get better, but I wasn't addressing things within myself, like not feeling like I was good enough and believing what other people said about me, that I would never amount to anything, and this came from adults hearing that as a child. And then as I got older, just the things that I was doing with myself, with my life, I was literally running away from all my problems, but I really wasn't addressing things that I needed to address. Um, I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace. When I was younger, I really didn't know those things. But as I got older and I started learning that there were ways to address just things within me personally, like feeling good about myself and knowing that no matter what anybody said about me, if I believed in myself and I believed in what I was capable of doing, then I could do just that, right? So, because I never, as I was making these different moves throughout my life, starting from a really young age and running from my situations, I kept arriving wherever I wound up with the same problems, same habits, same patterns, same everything, same low vibration because I had not addressed what was going on in here so that I could change not only where I was at, but more importantly, so that I could change myself, right? And I could be unshakable and unstoppable. But I was being shaken and I was being stopped a lot of the times throughout my journey up until a few years ago. So, again, just a reminder that whatever it is that you're experiencing outside in the external world is a representation or a mirror reflection of what is going on internally. So, before you make moves, it's important that you begin to unpack all those old things before you think about moving on. So, so if running away isn't the answer, what is? How do we actually start fresh? Good question, right? Buckle up, buckle your seat belts. I'm going to give you 3 steps. Three, uno, dos, tres. 3 steps that will help you navigate your journey to be able to move forward. Number one, you have to unpack your mental suitcase before you move. Well, you're saying, Andrea, great idea. How do I do that? I'm gonna tell you. Yes, I am. So, before you unpack your your bags, actually, wait a minute. Hold up a second. How can you unpack your bags if you haven't even packed them yet? Before you pack your bags, you need to check your emotional baggage. You need to ask yourself a couple of questions. What patterns keep repeating in my life? That's a good question. Also, what beliefs am I carrying that are no longer serving me? That's another good question. You should try asking yourself those questions. If I would have asked myself these questions back then, I may have not experienced, but I digress. See, because that's not the way it works, right? I have the tools now. And so when I'm thinking about going somewhere, I'm doing things differently. So if you don't ask yourself these things before you get to your new destination or decide to go somewhere else, um, you're just unpacking the same mess in a different location. Okay. Number two, you have to shift before you move along, before you take that train, plane, automobile, or maybe even a boat, right? So you have to shift before you move. Now, this may or may not apply to you, but for me, I wouldn't move into a new home without cleaning the old one, right? Now, some of us do. We leave a mess where we're at, but I think it's important to seriously clean up your mess, both literally and figuratively, and emotionally and energetically. You seriously have to clean your mess before you move on to the new place, right? Because if you don't, again, you're just taking the same mess with you. So when you shift, you start doing it small. I always keep saying small. You practice gratitude. You reframe your old stories. You interrupt negative thought loops like, I'm not good enough, I'll never be able to, they do it better than I do, I'm not good at that. The list goes on, right? So these are the things that we tell ourselves. And it's not necessary, but we do it anyways. So I say all that to say that once you've done that, then when you do move, you're actually stepping into a new chapter and not just a new location with the same old stuff and guck and muck of your past, right? So that's number two, shift. The third one is that you have to reprogram your energy where you are. So if today you are feeling like, let's see, I'll never be able to find a new job that will bring me fulfillment and happiness, right? So you're saying things like that, or you're feeling things like that. If you're not shifting, if you're not reprogramming your energy where you're at, then you're going to take that with you. So if you don't like the vibe, the energy, or the feelings of your current life, changing locations won't help. It won't. I'm telling you, it won't. So you have to change you. You have to change you. Period. Period. Upgrade your thoughts, upgrade your habits, and create a vision for your life that doesn't require you to relocate, just to transform from within, right? So those are the three steps, the three recommendations, the three things that I strongly recommend you consider if you think of moving to another location, another zip code, another state, another country, another planet. Check yourself. So unpack your mental suitcase. You're going to shift your energy and you're going to reprogram your energy from where you're at. Okay, so those are the three things. So I want to challenge you before you book a one-way ticket let's take a look at what's really running the show: your mindset, your patterns, your energy. Then I want you to decide if you actually need a new city or just maybe a new perspective. There's a thought. Because, listen, otherwise, you'll end up arguing um, with baggage claim, wondering why your trust issues and your limiting beliefs are still circling around you like it's missed its stop or their stops. Because who wants to carry all that crap around? Not me. I did it for way too long. And I'm telling you, I was like a bag lady on the planes, on the trains, on the buses. I wasn't on the boats though. But I was dragging all that baggage. And you know that invisible baggage, it's heavier than carrying physical luggage sometimes because our strength is sometimes unbelievable, our physical strength, and we can carry so much. But that invisible luggage, limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging ideas and thoughts and patterns and all of that junk, it's heavy as heck. And I'm telling you, it wears you down. It ages you before it's time. And you look like you're 50 and you're just 15 years old. Or you look like you're 150 and you're just 50. Come on now. Who wants to look older than what they are? Not me. So that's why I'm here to share what would really help and benefit you if you just try something new. But a new zip code without changing parts of you that are not working out is just not a good idea. So, you know what? I'd really like if you would just DM me if this hits home for you. I want to hear your stories. I've got a bunch of doozies for you myself, but I'm genuinely interested in what's going on with you and how I can support you in finding ways to better deal with those difficult things in your life, right? Running away won't solve the problem. And if you don't check that you have all the things that you need that will make your trip enjoyable, then when you get to your new destination and you unpack, you're going to have the same old crap right along with you. And that new place, that new sunny beach, those beautiful mountain tops with snow caps, whatever your deal is, it's not going to be fun because you're still going to be miserable. You're still going to be thinking you're not good enough. You're still going to be thinking, I don't matter. I can't do this. I can't do that. But I thought I left all my problems over there. And I promise you, that's not how it works. Change you. So, um, I want to do a quick vibe check. So, has your number gone up even just a little bit? Did I shift your energy in any way? If so, mission accomplished. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I um I really just want each and every person listening to this specific episode to understand that in order to begin to shift before we continue to move forward, we really have to look at where we are, what we're thinking, what we're doing, and what we can do to change those things. So, my hope, my intention, my desire is that something that I've said today, and I was being playful because I choose to be playful and funny and maybe a little corny. But I hope that something I've said has touched you in some way, shape, or form. I'm on this journey because while I'm helping others and supporting others on their journey to healing from past trauma, from old limiting beliefs, from old patterns, I continue to heal daily and I continue to grow and evolve because evolution for me is an ongoing process. It doesn't stop because I gain a new tool, it simply adds to that. And so I continue to welcome you and invite you to keep coming back. And maybe one day very soon, maybe after this episode, you come to a realization that you understand the importance of changing your inner negative vibes and energy and thoughts and patterns in order to be able to move forward. It takes work. I'm not going to tell you it's easy because it is not, especially if you've been conditioned for so long to do things in a certain way. And you either haven't sought the help, expressed it to anyone, but maybe intuitively or internally, you've been asking for help. And this video is an answer, right? And so I choose to do things in a fun way and you know lighten things up because there are so many things going on in the world today that it's easy to get caught up with all the negativity. And so in order to shift the energy that's going on all over the world, we have to begin by shifting our own energy, our own thoughts, so that collectively the high vibrations that we emit by the things that we say, the conversations that we choose to have that are actually contributing to humanity in a good way, where we're spreading love and support and all the wonderful things that we can, then the world becomes a better place, right? So that's why I continue to come on here and to share my little tips and tricks. And they're not tricks, by the way, but just tips and ideas on how to improve your life. So there it is. That's my take on it. Hope you enjoyed the show, even with the little goofs up that I did here and there. Uh, and I hope you had a little bit of fun. Because that's what I intend to do is I intend to bring a little bit of fun to the party, right? So stay awesome, stay unstoppable, and remember, the journey to transformation starts from within. So until next time,